too far wrong. So then there's also a tape route from the last control into the finish. So Alex will demonstrate that. So you just need to follow the tape, keep the tape on your left. There'll be plenty of time for you to see them coming around. Testing? Yeah, we've got it back again. Okay, so you have plenty of time to come through into the tagging area. Run through the finish first, tag your runner, and then head up to the download. Woohoo! Okay, so when you're tagged, you just run up to your map, pick your map up, and go out on your course. Okay, if you have trouble and your first leg runner is slow coming back, there'll be a mass start at 10:45, so you need to be ready by at least 10:40. Cleared and checked and ready, and we'll start you in a mass start. If your second leg runner's slow and hasn't come back, then third leg runners, there'll be a mass start at 11:45. Yeah, punch on the finish line. Okay, we've got one last thing, especially for the easy class people. So everybody who's easy course, we need your attention. Okay, we're going to have our last demonstration. Easy course people, you don't have a last loop. You'll go from the spectator control. So Matthew's just demonstrating that now. He's going to run down. When you get to near the finish chute, there'll be a sign saying easy finish. Follow that down and straight into the finish. You can watch him running around now. He's running through. So that's what you guys got to do. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Yeah, you need to punch the finish? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so when you're coming into the finish, you need to punch the finish, run through, tag your next runner, who will then run up to the start, and then you can just casually make your way up to the download tent.
Yeah, Kyle's done that.
I hope you got all that. I did, but I'm not running, so
I have a spare one of those.
make sure you do punch the finish, or if you got SIE, you just need to swipe it, and then you tag. So it's a finish, then tag. The most important two things in relays: one is clear and check your stick, and take the correct map. You don't only get disqualified, but you impact another team if you take the wrong map. So please check your numbers. There'll be people in the graveyard to point you in the right direction as to where to go. You can go over to the side around where where the registration tent is if you want to watch, but please don't cross the road, the track. If you have to go back to your cars while the relays are on, can you please be careful crossing the track? There is a give way sign there for you to give way to the runners. And if you're coming back into the arena, please be careful also. So as Anna said, there'll be no calling of teams. You need to watch the run through and watch the damn wall, and you'll see your runners coming. You'll have enough time from the run through to get down to the changeover quite easily. It's a small loop, maybe about 20% of your course, most of the courses, after the run through. I've just been reminded of some other issue that could happen. Please download after you've finished. There is a gap in the download chute. Don't exit that gap until you've been up to the tent, the blue tent's at the top, then you can exit. But obviously we have that gap so people can get to the changeover. The layout is never simple in a relay. One of the most competitive classes today is going to be the men's and women's 12. There are, I don't know how many teams, but there's a lot of teams in the men's and women's 12. So it's going to be fascinating to watch those little future older orienteers running around this fantastic easy course. It's a little harder than a very easy, but it's not too hard. And it's actually got some splits on it. So be careful, you little people. Don't just follow. We noticed yesterday in the men's and women's in the 10, there was a significant number of missed punches.
wanna be part of your symphony. Hold me tight and don't let go. Your symphony.
Well, after. Okay, we are looking at the start list, and the women's 20E and the men's 20E. At the top of the list, there's 4 New Zealand teams, and in the women's 20E there are 3 New South Wales teams, 4 New Zealand teams, an Orienteering Queensland team, an Orienteering Tasmanian team, and a team from Western Australia. And was that going out? Oh, I've just been talking and no one heard a word. It's probably better off that way. But anyway, I'll repeat what I just said. To go through the elite class, we don't have tracking today because there's a few technical issues with getting tracking, and with O-links, and O-links in a relay is challenging and that sort of thing. So, and tracking who is another question. So with having no tracking, we've got some videos out there.
I would say, Nick, it's probably more, the O-links was a bit one thing, tracking's another thing. It's like, okay, who do you track, when do you show the map, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so in the women's 20E, we've got 4 New Zealand teams, 3 New South Wales teams, a Western Australian team, an ACT team, a Tasmanian team, and a Queensland team. So it looks to me that it's New Zealand versus New South Wales, but maybe not. Maybe the ACT team can put up a fight for the single representative states in that class. Men's 20E, we've got 4 New Zealand teams, a Victorian team, South Australian team, and 3 New South Wales teams. So it seems to me, looking at the screen, that it's New South Wales versus New Zealand in both the junior boys and the junior girls, but you never know. The ACT have got a chance, I think, looking at their runners, and I think maybe South Australia as well. And that's not to exclude Queensland and also Victoria. Up in the women's 21E, we've got 1 Victorian team. Miller Keys running up with Ainsley Prendergast, and I guess I can't see the actual third runner on the screen, but maybe Tash. We got a New Zealand, no we don't, we have 1 New Zealand team. It's not a complete one, the second one. 2 New South Wales teams, Tassie Foresters, Queensland Cyclone combination, with Michaela Cooper out first and Anna Sheldon running second, and a South Australian team. And in the men's elite, it's really New South Wales have got 3 teams, ACT have got 2, Queensland have got 2, New Zealand have got 1, because I have a feeling Felix is running down his right age today in the men's 20. He was the winner of the elite men's yesterday. And Julian is running up in the 35. So the first and second place getters from the men's elite yesterday are running in different age groups today. I believe, in fact, I know why Julian's running up. He wants to rekindle his relationship with Dave Meyer and Peter Preston, which goes way back to the late 1990s and early 2000s in school competitions when they formed the New South Wales men's relay team for a number of years. And they've sent Dave Meyer out first because he's a noted first leg runner, so no pressure, Dave. Matt Doyle is running for Queensland, so they're competitive. They've got 2 teams in the senior boys elites. The Victorians have got 1. As I said, the ACT have got 2, and Matt Crane is running down in the elites today. Matt ran up in his age group yesterday, and so did Martin. But Martin and Matt are running in 21Es today in the relay. So there's been a bit of shuffling around as to who runs what. So I did mention the other class that's really interesting is the men's and women's 12. There's a really large number of teams in that, and it's going to be fascinating to watch them come up to the spectator control and run down into the finish, because they're very, very keen, these young people. Third leg. We have the first person through the spectator control. I think it's Andrew Sheehy from from Tasmania. South Australia. Oh, I'll put my glasses on. I'll be right. So the course set is pacing around, wondering if everything's fine, and I'm sure it will be. But we should get some radio controls. Times coming through. They've only been out 13 minutes. The elite's winning time, I believe, is between 35 and 40 minutes. Last loop, maybe 7, 8 minutes. We may have video of them coming up to the control that you can see over here on the left-hand side where the elite start was. And Prong is ready. I do believe we have another person coming up the hill, up the slope to the spectator. Got the video on. That is Andrea Sheehy from Tasmania. It's okay, Andrea, it's downhill now. Oh, and there's a stream starting to come now. Just a reminder, there's a trivia question. You can win a prize if you can tell us how many medals there are available to be won from the Australian Relays today. Yep, you need to tell us your number, and if you get it right, you'll win the prize. We're not going to tell you how many classes there are. You need to go and find that out yourself. We've got some of the young kids putting down their numbers. Remember that each place getter in the relay gets a medal, so that's a lot of medals. I'm not telling you if it's right.
So we've got a few bets coming in on the number of medals already. So we've got numbers that I can tell you now ranging from 85 to 270. So there's some real stabs in the dark there, I think, Nick.
I can tell you that the organisers wish it was 79, but 79 is pretty much way off the mark.
And we've got some fast movement coming through the spectators' control now. Some of the younger classes moving very fluently through. You can see quite a few people down the forest working their way across a rocky slope. Across and maybe angling down a slope, and definitely what we normally think about as being some of the hardest legs that are out there. So tricky it can be.
Should we be getting any of these yet?
Yeah, it should be.
Sorry, we should have got some radio controls by now, but we're trying to fix that up.
Got one of our first finishers by the looks coming through. So in one of the junior classes, I hope the second leg runners are on top of those teams, as I can see there are a few starting to come in. Second leg runners should be starting to keep an eye out.
That was a good tag. You can see a few other younger ones hanging around in the changeover area. We got some good video here of coming up the slope. Nice green grass after all the rain we've been having. Oh, didn't like that control, did they?
So we're all over the place for these.
71 and 72, way out of that. 70 is over here before we get there.
Okay, and so for these, can we sort them by place?
So A is running, I'm not running, but I'm like shadowing him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, most recent,
I do believe, I think I saw Debbie Davey coming to on the video anyway. She's first leg runner, I know.
So we've got a little bit of news from out in the forest. In the women's junior elite, Nia Shingler, of course, went out, and she, you remember, dominated yesterday. She's come through and in first place in the women's 20 elite, and she's ahead of Michaela Gray, who's around 30 seconds behind. So you would think probably just out of visual sight there. In the men's 20 elite, we've had our first runners through some of the radio controls that are right out the back, not the ones that we're looking at here as a spectator control, but we've got Owen Radowski's come through. He's just in front of Cooper, so Cooper's just 10 seconds behind, so it looks like we've got two runners out the front in terms of the men's 20 elites.
I can't read that.
A lot of cheering for Banjo and Rui, and I'll tell you, they both look good running, don't they? There's a few good genetics going on through that stable.
Men's 20E, I can tell you that the radio Max Walter was 1 second in front of Cooper Hawley, as Ben said, I think. So that's they're all running together. It's a pack of them.
So we do have a pre-warning number 72, which has Shannon Jones is coming through first in the women's 21 elite. Running essentially alongside Miller Key. Miller Key punched just a couple of seconds after. And then we've got Gemma Burley coming in another 30 seconds behind. So in the women's elite class, it looks pretty tight at the front. They're running as a bit of a pack by the looks.
So in the men's elite, at the second radio control, we've got Paul de Jong in the lead by 43 seconds, I think. And second place is South Australia. And in third place, running with is Victoria. They look like they're running with the Queensland team. They're together. So there's only one New South There's no New South Wales teams in that through the second radio control yet, in the men's elite and in the I liked it when it was dark. Okay.
Commentary team is struggling with the need for glasses and stubbornness perhaps prevailing as to why they're not wearing them.
Absolutely. It's called age. I heard you talking about that with Warren yesterday.
Yeah, I definitely need to get my eyes checked too. They're definitely on the wandering side. We've got a huge stream of runners coming through, so you know, if you're a second leg runner, you probably need to be down in that changeover area, warming up, keeping brittle, remembering that you need to control your own controllables despite all the hype around you. It's always advantageous to try and have an idea and help with the pace of other people around you, but it's very easy to get to the wrong control and all of a sudden you're a few minutes down without even trying.
Okay, in the women's 20E, at the second radio control, we've got Nia Shingler still running. No, is that? Yeah, no, she's 1 minute 42 in front of Michaela Gray. So Nia's got quite a good lead at the second radio control, and it shouldn't be too long before she comes up the long leg into the spectator area. She's on a running time at that radio of 21:55. And Michaela was 1:42 down on her in second place. So no sign of a New Zealand team. They were in third place, 46 seconds down at the previous radio.
And they've just come through next, so that's Juliet Freeman is about 45 seconds behind Michaela Gray. So our first, second, third, there's a few gaps appearing early.
And in the men's junior elite, we've got the third radio control. We've got the first person through. It's Cooper Hawley from New South Wales. And he is running by himself at the moment. We don't have any other runner through that third radio control. So that should be similar to the second radio control, I think, on the junior elite women. So Cooper, maybe 5 minutes or so, will be coming up the long hill to the spectator control and off to do his last loop.
I've just been informed by someone that would know that Owen was apparently just in front, but that hasn't appeared on our screen. But it might be that Owen Radowski's just in front of Cooper Hawley.
Well, he was at the previous radio control, yes, on our screen.
I can see a bunch of the elite women coming up the hill now, and it's Australia and New Zealand. Well, it's ACT really, the Cockatoos and New Zealand running side by side. That's Shannon going through, and yesterday's winner as well, running through these controls.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to get all of them. It's beautiful.
And that looks to me like Ella Hogg is starting her leg if you are looking on the big screen. Katie Hogg, I apologise, sorry Ella. Yeah, Katie Hogg heading out.
And we have in the men's 21E, am I seeing everybody on that screen? Yes, Ethan Penk is in the lead at the third radio control. That's if everyone is coming up on the screen, and looks like he's running with Grant Rinbot. So it looks like there's two together at the lead in the men's 21E, Ethan Penk and Grant Rinbot. They were second and third at the previous radio. The leader at the previous radio was Paul de Jong, and his radio has not come up at the third radio. So maybe a mistake by Paul in that section of the course, which from my memory is complex rock, vague, little knolls and bare rocks all over the place. And Cooper Hawley and Owen Radajewski's now come up together, and I think...
Yeah, so obviously we missed a split there on Owen, but they're essentially running together by the looks. So it's Owen and Cooper coming through in a bunch together. They are not too far away from the finish at this point.
An interesting thing there is Felix is running first leg for one of the New Zealand teams, and at the previous radio he was 2:14 down on the time of Cooper and Owen.
Yeah, well, Felix obviously showed the form yesterday. Maybe he's just relaxed a little bit too much today, thinking about the glory. Well, I'm also informed that they've mixed up, so that sounds like a mispunch from New Zealand straight away. If they're mixing up the team and not telling the people, we'll have to disqualify them. We can do that after. We'll keep the racing tight.
We've just been told it's not Felix, so we'll have to apologise to Felix. But, you know, if we had the names on the screen, what can we do? They've swapped it around, so Felix is running third leg. It's Eddie. What was the name I was given? Eddie Swain, I think. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong.
And I think I just spotted Nia Shingler coming through.
Yeah, she's running with Michaela. Oh, no, she's not. Michaela's 2 minutes and 10 down on Nia. So Michaela is slowly losing time to Nia out there in the terrain.
So Nia coming in there and finishing, and she's tagging off to the next runner. And so that'll be important in the Bush Rangers Pine Stars battle today, the Australia versus New Zealand competition that we have. Now, you won't see all of the Australian teams running today, you'll just see the state teams. And it's the first state team across the line that we're counting as the Bushranger team for today. So it's the first Australian state team versus the Pine Stars in that battle today. And of course these points also counting towards the National Orienteering League as well. So even if you're not the first state team coming through, it's still important to get those all important points for the National Orienteering League competition.
So in the men's 21, it is Paul de Jong still in the lead. We didn't get his radio at the previous one. Not sure whether that's because of a split or not, but he's still leading over the Queensland team of Matt Doyle, and then the third team is the James Robinson from Victoria, and the Grant Rinbot from Queensland is now in fourth place. And in the women's 21E, Shannon is holding on to that lead quite comfortably as she's been through the radio and no one else has, and she's been through there quite a while ago.
Some of the older classes are coming through too. We've got Dave Meyer coming through and Grant Blort. I've got to say, Grant Blort's, I reckon, the slowest out of his entire family coming through there, what I've seen. So hobbling along a little bit. I tell you what, Rui and Banjo were absolutely screaming through that much faster than Grant.
Was that really Dave Meyer running down that hill?
I mean, was it running?
Come on.
Was it running?
I don't call that a run, Dave. That's not what you were 20 years ago, mate. James Robinson coming into the finish. Victorian team in third place. The cameraman from yesterday, and I'm sure when he downloads and comes and has a drink, you'll get back on the running camera and provide us with some great video footage. He'll be changing over to Mason Arthur.
He did a fair bit of running yesterday. He must have some fatigue in his legs, but of course he's got the flip side. He probably saw more of the map there.
Yeah, but we've made an exception for him. If anyone wants to complain about that. See the registration. Okay, we've got the times, the gaps coming up. So we've got the Queensland team 4 seconds behind the ACT team. 38 seconds down to James Robinson. 53 seconds down to Grant Reambot from Queensland, and 109 down to Ethan Penk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams within just over a minute of each other.
Yeah, it's pretty close in that class. We've got the first 5 through in the men's elite, the first 7 through in the men's junior elites, and we have just sole runners so far on our screens for the women's classes. So Shannon Jones is holding the lead. She's come in first, and then in the women's 20 elite, it of course was Nia Shingler who was passing on to Erica Enderby. That's a gun team there, Nick.
Yeah.
They'll be hard to beat, that women's 20 elite team from the New South Wales Stingers.
Yep. I'm just wondering if the New Zealand tactics of changing the running order in the junior boys is going to pay off, because at the moment, that team of Felix Hunt, Eddie Swain, and their second leg runner is 2:39 down on New South Wales and the ACT. We know how fast Felix is, so it'd be interesting to know what the gap is after the second leg, because we've been told that Felix is now running the third leg in that team. So obviously some change in the process there.
Yeah,
because
that will be
on the screen it said Felix.
That will be interesting to watch as we go through. I did get distracted then, Nick. I was just watching one of the few Olympians that we have around orienteering in the finish chute. He, of course, Martin Dent was Olympian a few years ago. And finishing down the finish chute, he still looks good running. I've got to say that. He's handed off to his next runner. I think that might be Matthew Crane.
Could Hillary, Anna or Rob Vincent urgently go to the finish tent, please? Hillary, Anna or Rob? Well, can you go and solve it?
Go, Steve. Well done. Good effort. Go, Steve. Steve.
So we've got second legs coming in for on our results screen for the women's 21 elites and the women's 20 elites. So Victoria Miller Key coming in through in second place, a couple of minutes down, and Lana Stubbs coming in the women's 20 elites. Holding on to second place at the moment. All right, Nick, I think I'm going to have to go leave you and head out on my own run. I've changed my tactics from yesterday. I did read the scale for today, so I'm hopefully better placed from that position.
Okay, thanks, Ben, and we hope to see you running fast down the run through than Dave Meyer. Okay, so we concentrate now on the second leg of the elite classes. We don't have enough manpower here, person power, to concentrate on all the other classes, but I'm sure you all know how it's going in your age group. We do have on the screen a missed punch for the ACT Women's 21E team, Team 408. But we do, and also for Team 301, the New Zealand team in the junior women, but we do know there's a bit of an issue with maybe one of the units, so that may not be a missed punch. So we'll just wait and see for further information, because there's a couple of missed punches coming up on the women's 21E. I think I'm going to take a punt and say that these missed punches are not actual real missed punches. They're more an issue with one of the units out in the terrain. So we can fix that. So what's showing up on the screen for me is there are 4 missed punches in the women's 21E, but my prediction is that they probably will not be missed punches. Now, in the junior men, we've got Oscar Miller on the second leg. Cooper Hawley was on the first leg, and Oscar's gone through the radio control in a time of 36:30. So the New South Wales team there is holding up a clear lead, as no other teams have gone through that radio control. Okay, I can tell you that the New Zealand team of Eddie Swain, Jack McClellan and Felix Hunt is now in second place. So their tactics may be working here. They're catching the New South Wales team. They were in sixth place, at the finish of the first leg. They've now, and it looks like to me like Jack McClellan, if this is right, has run the team into second place, and they're clear leaders over the other New South Wales team. Jonathan Nolan is running second leg for that team. He's in third place at the moment in 341 down on his New South Wales compatriot Oscar Miller. So as we thought, 2 New South Wales teams and a New Zealand team in the top 3. So it's going to be very interesting between that New Zealand team and the New South Wales team. Sam Wolford is running third leg for the New South Wales team, and Jake, hang on, and Felix Hunt is running third leg for New Zealand, I believe. And we have the first in the men's 21E through the first radio on their second leg, and it's the ACT team is still in the lead by 16 seconds over the Queensland team of Blake Rinbot and Ryan Gray, and the third team is the Queensland team of Ben Schultz, but they are 2:44 down. So that Queensland team, I think Matt was the first leg runner. They're only 16 seconds behind the ACT team at the first radio on the second leg. Very interesting in the junior girls. I don't have a radio for Erica Enderby, who's running the second leg for that Nia Shingler team, but I do have a first radio for the Queensland team. Casey Reenbot has gone through the first radio on the junior girls, and she is running by herself. Always find it interesting in relays. The first leg doesn't differentiate much, but the second leg usually does lead to significant differentiations in the times of the runners in each class. And of course the big challenge is what the running order is in a relay, particularly at the elite level. I've seen some interesting decisions made about running orders in JWOC in my experience, and I've made some shockers, and I've also seen some really good decisions made at WOC as to the running order, and also some not so good decisions. And it is a different style running first compared to running second and then running third. So we've got the team of Matt Crane and Robbie Preston. Matt Crane and Robbie Preston are running together out there in the terrain. They've both gone through the radio control. We have a second leg runner coming up into the finish. It could be.
I'm still waiting for my test.
Oh, he's one of the ACT guys.
I'm waiting for my brother. Yeah, that's because you're in border. Border takes a little longer. Why are you doing it?
Okay.
Yeah, I know he's a second leg runner. I was saying he's part of the ACT team. I was saying he's pretty good.
Why is Elliot doing E? Why do people use this? No, E's just the lowest one.
I got enough.
So, assuming the radios are working, I still don't have... Oh, yes, I do. I have a second women's 20E runner through the first radio on the second leg, and it's a New Zealander, Alison Powell, but she's 1:34 down on the Queensland team, and still no radio for the team that led out the second leg, the New South Wales team of Erica Enderby. Interesting there that I would say safely, I think, that they have put out their best runner first, and that set them up with the lead in the hope that that could be held on to. So we'll just wait and see whether the radio was working for Erica or she's actually progressing beyond the point of that radio control. So in the junior boys, we've got a big gap opening up after the top two. So it's really New South Wales versus New Zealand, because the fourth place team is now the Western Australian team, and they are 7 minutes and 8 seconds down on the fastest team at the first radio in the second leg, which was Oscar Miller.
It's only been like 3 minutes.
So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get any radio controls from the women's elite, because the computer thinks they've mispunched, but we'll wait patiently for that issue to be resolved. So we have 5 teams in the men's senior elite. Robbie Preston is, as I said, running with Matt Crane, and Toby Lang is 16 seconds in front of Blake Greenbot at the first radio. So very shortly they should be at the second radio. And still no women's junior elite runners other than the Queenslander Casey Greenbot and the New Zealander Alison Powell are through the first radio.
Peter, you got this. Good job, Peter. Wait, is anybody else on that?
I can tell you that in the women's and men's 12, that the current leader after 2 legs is the Western Australian team of Ruth Toomey. She was the fastest in the second leg. Isabel Newton from New South Wales in second. Tessa Radajewski was in third place, and Layla Dent from the ACT was in fourth place in the men's-women's 12. In the men's 16, Blake McKinnon, the New Zealander, was the fastest. Alex Van Zeller from Queensland in second, and Matty Mandrell from the ACT was in third after the first leg. The second leg, and all of this is available on Live OL if you want to see it. We don't have any second leg runners in the men's 16 through, according to what I've got. And if I go to the women's 16, the first after the first leg was the Tasmanian team. Katie Clausen, who had a really good run yesterday, 7 seconds in front of Sandy Halpin from the ACT. And Zara Toes was a further 6 seconds back. So it's very close in the junior women's 16 class. There are 4 runners there after the first leg within a minute of each other. Very competitive, and they got the schools for the rest of the week, and then of course they got the Australian long and sprint next weekend in that really big class. And I still don't have a radio at the first radio on the second leg in the junior girls for Erica Enderby. I've got one for Zali McComb. She's running 5:35 down on the time of Casey Reenbot. And in the junior boys, we have almost a challenge. Well, the New Zealanders, you can pat yourselves on the back because there's only 1 second between your second leg runner, which I think is Jack McClellan, and Oscar Miller. They are running together. So if it's Jake McClellan, he's made up 4.5 minutes, was it? Or maybe, no, that's an exaggeration. I think it was 2:39. He's made up 2:39 on Oscar Miller in the first part of the course for the second leg. So Sam Wolford, better warm up. Felix Hunt, get ready. Could be a match race. New Zealand versus New South Wales.
Good job, Dad. Dad, happy to go. At least you did it.
It looks to me like in the men's 14A class, we have the leading team have finished their second leg. Hayden Dent from the ACT has finished. Their cumulative running time there, I think, is 45:43. So a strong performance there from the ACT men's 14 team. So in the junior boys, apart from the New Zealander and the New South Wales team that are running neck and neck, the New South Wales second team, Nick Stanley is running. He's only 2:10 behind. And in fourth place, just under a minute behind that, is the Tasmanian team, Jet McComb. He will change over to Ewan Best, according to what I've got on the screen. They are 3 minutes and 8 seconds down on the leading team, but only a minute behind the second New South Wales team of Nick Stanley, Jamie Wolford, and the first leg runner. I still don't have any Erica Enderby's radio control at that first one, so not sure what's going on there. And in the senior elite, Toby Lang is still in the lead, 53 seconds in front of Blake Greenbot in the men's 21E class, holding on to that lead and stretching it a little bit, just a fraction.
on, Pat! Run!
Pat, keep walking.
Keep walking, Pat. Good one, Pat.
Keep walking up to the bin, up to the download.
That's first and second for the juniors.
Go download, mate. Please go download.
I can tell you that Eddie Swain is now in the lead by 32 seconds over Oscar Miller. And he just went through the spectator. I missed that. I was trying to find out what's going on with the... and here's an ACT person as well. So that is a... It's not Eddie Swain. It's Jake McClellan, I think. And he has made up over 3 minutes on Oscar Miller. And he's taken the lead. 32-second lead at the run-through. So he'll shortly be in the finish and he'll be changing over to Felix Hunt. Toby Lang is holding on to his lead in the men's senior elite. He's gone through that control 20 and he should be in the finish very shortly. And then we should wait for the Queensland team, and then a few minutes back will be the South Australian team. But we've got the New Zealanders are running through the field in the men's junior elite. I can't hear you. What? She got the wrong SI. I thought the competitor had the responsibility of putting their SI into the start. Anyway, I've just been told that Eric Enderby's not using the SI that's in the program, so that's why it's not showing up. So I've got no idea where she's placed, which sort of kills the whole concept of commentating. But anyway, these are the hiccups we face. So the second New South Wales team is only 1.5 minutes down on the highest placed New South Wales team. So we could have a challenge here between New South Wales and New South Wales for second. It looks like New Zealand are running away, but that will be determined by the two Wolford boys. Sam running third leg for the team currently in second, and Jamie will be running third for the team currently in third. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's happening with the women's junior elite as they come through the spectator. Justine Hobson has been through, and Justine, I don't have her down. I've got Justine down as an elite in Grace and Shannon's team. We got a pro. We got a.
Go, Tiffany! Shall we leave the set free for the one?
Blake Reinbutt on running camera coming into the spectator control. Toby Lang has already been through, yes. Blake is 27 seconds down. And if I can go back to the men's junior elite, we've got Eddie Swain. Jake McClellan has gone through the last pre-warning and he will be in the finish if he hasn't already been in the finish. And 45 seconds behind is the New South Wales team that were in the lead after the first leg. That's okay. I look like I've got some times now for the women's 21E on the screen, and we've got the New Zealand team of Amelia Horn and Brianna Stephen, and I think it's Renee Beveridge. They're in the lead, and the second team at the moment is Justine Hobson, Grace Crane and Shannon. So the New Zealand team there have gone through and past the ACT team on the second leg in the women's senior elite. So Grace will be running third. We think Eddie Swain's coming into the finish. Yes, that looks like a New Zealander with shorts on. How could you mistake it? And let's hope it's Eddie. Changing over to Felix. So Felix is going out and he's at least 45 seconds in front of the New South Wales team. So, as I said, an interesting change in the running order there. The running order we had was Felix first, but he's now running third. And all he needs to do is have a nice steady run and he holds on to his lead. Oscar, the second place getter, is now in the finish. So we'll see what the time gap is when it comes up on the screen. So one New South Wales team in second place. We've got Sam Wolford going out, and not too far behind him will be his brother Jamie. And Justine Hobson should be in the finish any minute now. She has gone through the pre-warning for the last control, and that will be the leading women's senior elite team. Shannon, it looks like she's got in front of the New Zealand team, because at the previous radio, the New Zealand team was in the lead by 1 minute and 9 seconds. So if the information I'm getting is right, then there's been a mistake made by Amelia Horn in that loop in the last section of the course. So I can tell you that Oscar's he's dropped a bit of time in that last loop. The gap is now 1:16 between the New Zealand team and the New South Wales team. So we're just now waiting for the second New South Wales team to come. They were a minute and a half, roughly. And we have the first place getter in the men's senior elite coming into the finish, Toby Lang. He's held on to that lead. He's got David Stocks running the third leg. So a very strong team there for the ACT. And the second team there will be Blake Reinbutt, but he was just over a minute. No, Blake's actually finished as well. It's all come up on the screen. Oh, there's only 2 seconds between them. So Blake has caught up a little bit on that last loop on Toby. There's only 2 seconds between ACT and Queensland in the senior boys. Great competition there in the senior elite. And we've got the third place getter, Nick Stanley, has come in 2:32 down. But more importantly, he's 1:16 down on the time of the other New South Wales team. So it's actually 1:16 from first to second and another 1:16 down to the third team. So there's possibility out there for that to change. Okay, we do have confirmation that ACT women have held on to the lead or regained the lead in the women's senior elite class, and they are running in front of the New Zealand team, but it's very close. So both senior elite classes look like the third leg runners are going to go out very close together. So the finisher there was Justine Hobson. She's finished in the senior elite. So I'll just wait and see for the time for Brianna Stephen to come up. And I can confirm that the New South Wales team of Erica Enderby, Nia Shingler and Michaela Enderby are still in the lead. It's showing up on my screen that they are in the lead, and we're waiting for confirmation of that. But we are aware that Erica is running with a different SI number to what's in the computer. I'm not playing anyway. Right, and here we have the second place getter in the senior women's elite, 53 seconds down. So fairly close, but not as close as the men's senior elite. So to summarise, it looks like we have a clear lead for New South Wales in the women's junior elite class. We don't have any second place getters through there yet. Second leg runners in the women's senior elite, we have 2. The ACT team, we've got Grace Crane out on leg 3. The New Zealand team, 53 seconds down, we've got Brianna Stephen out on the third leg. And in the men's senior elite, we've got Toby Lang has just finished on the second leg. David Stocks is running third. They are 3 seconds at the changeover in front of Blake Greenbot, and Ryan Gray is running the third leg for that. So it's Ryan Gray up against David Stocks in the men's senior elite. In the junior men's elite, it's a clear gap from New Zealand down to the 2 New South Wales teams. So we'll wait for radio controls for the New South Wales teams to see how they're going. Okay, Brianna Stephen is running out on the first leg from the graveyard on the big screen. Third leg runner for New Zealand. I've been asked to advertise the second leg mass start in 5 minutes. If your second leg runner has not come in, could you make your way down to the entrance to the changeover area? Anna will be down there to organise that second leg mass start. Wow, it looks like I've missed a very exciting completion to the men's and women's 12 relay. What I'm seeing on my phone at the moment is that the winning team was the ACT team in a time of 57.36. 2 seconds behind was the team from Western Australia. So that must have been exciting watching them both come down the finish chute together. 2 seconds apart at the finish. So well done to those junior runners. In terms of some competitive classes, the men's 16, the top three are separated by 37 seconds. Eli Dent was the second leg runner. He finished in 63.29. That was a 33-second gap down to Queensland. And the New Zealand team was 4 seconds behind the Queensland team. So the top three there are running for the places, but in which order we're not sure. Very close there in the men's 16. In the women's 16, it's not so close. The New Zealand team are 2 minutes and 33 in front of the Queensland team, and they are 10 minutes in front of the third placed team, which is a New South Wales team. Now, I don't want to make too many comments here, but I've got Jamie Wolford through the first radio control. I don't have any other runners through the first radio control. So there, I can think at the moment of three possibilities. One is there's been a mistake by Felix Hunt. Second, he's got the different SI to what we think he's got. And the third one's just escaped me, but so it could be a genuine error. The radio mightn't be working. No, it is working. So I don't have Felix Hunt coming up at the first radio control. So I can tell you that David Stocks in the senior men is holding on to his lead. He's gone through the first radio control on the third leg. We'll keep an eye out for the Queensland team that were in second place. They weren't that far behind at changeover. Peter Preston in the men's 35. What's taken him so long? He's coming into the finish. He'll be changing over to Julian Dent. And they're running men's 35A today. They're in the lead, so they should be. So still no radio for Felix Hunt. That's the mystery I'm going to have to solve. Otherwise, there's been a massive mistake in that complex log pile area. And I should tell you that if you're wondering what's going on over there in that area, the farmer will be talking to us next Saturday to explain what is happening and a little bit of the history about all of those log piles. It's not just random land clearing, it's all legit, and he will be talking, Ron will be talking to us next week at the Long and explaining what his plans are for this massive property that we're running on. He and his brother own all of the map, so we're very, very grateful to their total and absolute cooperation. In fact, when we first met them, we didn't have to convince them that what we were doing was worth it. They said, we want you to come here and orienteer. We want our land to be used by people. So that was the most welcoming I've ever had from a landowner. How are you?
Get down here, mate. Full zoom. Ooh, he's quick. Straight into the barrier.
Oh, and we do have a second time in the men's junior elite showing up on the radios, and it's Ewan Best from Tasmania. 2:57 down on the time of Jamie Wolford. So I don't have a time for Sam Wolford, I don't have a time for Felix Hunt, but I now have a time for Eric Lovell. So the radio's working. I'm just not sure what's happened to Sam Wolford and Felix Hunt. So at the moment, what I've got in front of me is that Jamie Wolford is 2:57 in front of Ewan Best, and Ewan is about 1 minute and 3/4 in front of Eric Lovell from Queensland. And still no other runner through in the men's elite. Queenslander has not been seen at the radio control. So it looks like David Stocks has got a substantial lead on the third leg in that class. I can tell you within the women's senior elite, we've got the top team is the ACT. Brianna Stephen is 53 seconds down, but they are the only two that can win. The Tassie Foresters are 7 minutes down on the ACT team in that age class. Oh.
Let's go, Evan! Great run, mate. Let's go, Evan! Let's go, Evan! Push to the end!
I've been told that Warren Key is on his way in. That was a pretty hot team in the men's, what is it, men's 65, is it? I think Warren was running third leg. Wouldn't be surprised if they win. Pretty sure Ted was in that team. Tim Hatley, Warren Key from memory. Okay, the New Zealanders can relax. We have a first radio at the second radio for the New Zealand team of Felix Hunt. So something happened at the previous radio, and that team is now showing up in the lead at control 10 on that course, which is not far from the run through. So we'll wait and see for the times for the same may explain Sam Wolford's non-show at the previous rodeo. Good. Okay, I've been told that little hiccup, which no doubt caused a lot of stress, has now been solved. So a big thank you to Ron for managing to get that hiccup out of the system, and all those women's elite teams have been reinstated. So it's about a minute since Felix Hunt's gone through that radio control. Okay, in the men's senior elite, we can tell you that David Stocks has, what I'm seeing here is quite a massive lead now. So it looks to me like it's going to be a very clear victory to the ACT team in the men's senior elite. Ewan Shingler has run his team into third. He is at the moment 1 minute and 9 seconds behind the ACT team that's in second place. And that's a possibility there that Ewan could run that team into second over the last part of that course. Okay, it's all working now in the junior elite class. Sam Wolford is 2 minutes and 13 seconds down on the time of Felix Hunt. So there's been no real change there between the first and second, except to say that they were, I think, from memory, 1:16 apart, and they're now 2:13. So Sam has dropped nearly a minute on the time of Felix, up to control 10, which is not too far away from the spectator control. So the interesting thing is how far his brother is behind him, because we know he was the next person in order through the previous rodeo. So we should see Felix Hunt shortly, and we should see maybe a minute or two, at least a minute, 2 minutes behind. There'll be two Wolford boys, hopefully, coming up the finish to make it a bit, up to the spectator to make it a bit interesting in the last loop. And I do have the first team in the women's through the fifth control on the third leg, and it looks to me like it's Tash Key. It looks like the information I have is she's leading at that point in the women's senior elite. So it's ACT in the lead in the men's, and it's Victoria in the lead in the women. It's New Zealand in the lead in the junior boys, and it's New South Wales in the lead in the junior girls. And we have Jamie Wolford through the second radio control. He is Yeah, it's he's 146 down on his brother at control 10. So, possible. I'm sure there are spectators out here who can tell me whether that's likely or not. But the gap is 146 at that second radio control. So is Felix Hunt coming up to the spectator control? Am I right there? Or has he been through it? But he showed up as control 16, so he's got a short loop to go. And I can tell you in the senior elite women, we've now got the Tasmanian Foresters Queensland Cyclones combined team. Rachel Allen is running third leg, I think. She is 1 minute 40 down on the Victorian team. No sign on the radios of the ACT team that was in the lead. So Grace has not shown up on the radio controls, and she went out first on the third leg. Okay, Felix has gone through. This is Sam Wolford coming up to the spectator. I can tell you that 1 minute 40 odd behind him will be his brother Jamie. They're second and third in the men's junior elite. And I've got the information on my screen that at control 13, Ryan Gray didn't show up at the previous radio. He is 3 seconds behind David Stocks at control 13 on that third leg. So it looks like to me that those two are running together in the men's senior elite. What's that? Excitement in the finishes. Yeah. Okay, Sam Wolford was 2:30 down, so he's still continuing to lose time to Felix Hunt, so we can safely say that Felix Hunt will be a clear winner of the men's junior elite relay, along with his two teammates. And it's a battle, maybe not, between New South Wales and New South Wales for second and third. But I think they're pretty guaranteed second and third. It's just a matter of which order. My apologies about the women's junior elite. I believe that my information is being distorted by the fact that one of the New South Wales runners' SI number in the computer was incorrect, so that they're not showing up. But they were in the lead when they went out on the third leg. So if someone knows more than I do, I'd appreciate that information. So I think we have Felix Hunt coming into the finish for the men's junior elite to be won by New Zealand. He's just gone through the pre-warning for the last leg for the finish. So Felix Hunt should be coming across that dam wall And he will be a winner again today, just like he was yesterday. Still no sign of Jamie Wolford at the spectator control. Yep, we were right. The senior elites are together. Here we go. First and second, ACT and Queensland coming up the long stretch across the road into a control, and then they'll come to the spectator. So, as Warren would say, it's all going to happen now. Does he follow? Does he out-sprint him in the finish? Felix Hunt, here he comes on the big screen, will be the winner of the men's junior elite class today. New Zealand showing us how to run in shorts, how to run in granite, and how to win. We just have to find out what the secret is. Singlets and shorts, maybe. Felix Hunt, 2 days in a row, is a winner. So the two boys are waiting there. And there's the not unusual sight of the New Zealanders winning a relay in Australia, either at the schools or Australian championships. In the meantime, Jamie has gone through the spectator. We've got Grace Crane at the spectator control, and my apologies because she didn't have a time at the previous warning radio. She's still holding on to the lead, so the ACT people can relax. Lack of information, but Grace is still leading in that age group. And it looks like that there could be a double ACT victory here, but maybe Queensland are going to pip them. Who knows? We've got David Stocks and Ryan Gray 2 seconds apart out there on the last loop for the men's senior elite. So this could be very exciting. Takes me back to a lot of elite relays in the past, way back in Queensland at Cherry Bar. I can't remember who it was, but they ran to the wrong direction out of the last control to the finish, and the person sat behind them and went past them and won. So it could come down to a sprint. And as I said, I'm not sure what's happening in the junior girls, but we're pretty sure that the New South Wales team is got a clear lead in that class, and Grace has got a clear lead in the women's senior elite. All right, the second place getter in the men's junior elite, Sam Wolford, is coming into the last stretch. There he is coming across the wall. And Sam will run this team into second place. And he will be about 2 minutes and 40 seconds down on the time of Felix's team. And it shouldn't be too long after that we see Jamie Wolford. So I'm pretty convinced that New South Wales will come second and third in the men's junior elite.
Jamie, and he's coming soon.
I'm just going to watch out for the pre-warning for Ryan Gray and David Stocks. They were 2 seconds apart at the run-through. It's not easy rock out there in the last section. It's pretty tricky. There are little seconds of mistakes to be made, but the tactics would be the most important thing, I think. When you're running with someone, I can say that the South Australian team is in third place in the men's senior elite, but they're 6:45 down from the ACT team. So it shouldn't be too long before we see the pre-warning for the men's senior elite runners, Ryan Gray and David Stocks. Well, there we have it. They are one. Oh, no. What have I got here on my screen? I'm a bit confused, but it looks like they're together. They're together at the pre-warning, maybe seconds apart. So it's going to come down to the run from the last control, which is down in the gully. There's a bit of climb, and then they come across the dam wall. David Stocks on the screen. He's actually in that, David Stocks is coming up to the dam wall. And I can't see, he's in front. The New Zealander, the Queenslander Ryan Gray has sprinted ahead of David Stocks. And it looks like the Queenslanders are going to take the win in the senior elite class. Ryan Gray has outpaced David Stocks in the last loop and got clearly away from him. So that's a victory to Queensland over the ACT. And we'll just wait for confirmation of that and the gap. So a very strong run there by Brian. And I'm sure Queensland will be very, very pleased with that. Here comes the white T-shirt, the white singlet brigade up the hill. Men's 35A class. Dave Meyer, Peter Preston, Julian Dent. Just about to punch the spectator control, and they will take the clear lead in the men's 35A class. So I've got an official time. Ooh, what's going on here? I've got an official time for David Stocks. But I don't have a time for Ryan Gray. But I saw Ryan Gray finish before David. So we'll just wait. Okay, the winner of the women's 21E is about to finish. Grace Crane is in the finish chute. Here she comes across the dam wall, up past the rock and then onto the dam wall. So the ACT will take a clear victory in the women's 21E class. The New Zealand team was 147 down at the spectator control. So Grace now is on the dam wall. So this is the winning team in the women's 21E ACT yet again. How many times has that happened? There she is, turning the corner into the finish chute. And this is the winning team for the ACT Women's 21E Australian Relay Champions 2024. And now I've got the official gap. It's 6 seconds between Ryan Gray and David Stocks. So Queensland 6-second winners over the ACT in the men's senior elite class. And we have New South Wales confirmed as the third place getters in the men's junior elite. So it's a victory there to New Zealand, second to one of the New South Wales teams, and third to another New South Wales team, which reinforces the strength of men's junior elite orienteering in New South Wales at this moment. It looks to me like the New South Wales junior girls have gone through the spectator, and they should be on their last loop. So we should be able to say that the New South Wales team will win the junior girls, barring any hiccups with my timing system and out there in the terrain. But Michaela has gone through control 14 in the lead. The fourth team in the junior boys is the Tasmanian team of Ewan Best running the third leg, and they were 8.52 down. Okay, the second team in the senior girls has just finished. That's the New Zealand team. Brianna Steffen running the third leg there. She was 2 minutes and 5 seconds down on the time of Grace. So first there to ACT, second to New Zealand, and it looks to me like in about 5 minutes' time we should have Tash Key coming in for third in the women's senior elite. So I think we're still just waiting for the women's junior elite to finish. Michaela is out on her last loop now. So I'll watch out for her time at the pre-warning, but I do not have any other radios at the spectator control in the junior girls. We better call the 35s in. The winning team is Dave Meyer, Peter Preston, and Julian Dent running with his head back as usual. The white singlet team. Not sure of the significance of that, but anyway, maybe someone could fill me in on that. But the winning team in the men's 35. Still waiting for Michaela at the pre-warning for the last control. Tash Key is now at the pre-warning, so she will run shortly into the finish and run the Victorian team in the senior girls into third place. Maybe not too far away from her is Michaela, but Michaela's still out on the last loop. We're waiting for her pre-warning. It could be the South Australian team coming in. Yeah, it is. The South Australian team coming into the finish. They will run into third place in the men's senior elite class. Leaf Soden, running the third leg for that team. So a good position there for South Australia to come in third. And I can see him now on the dam wall, coming up to the log, turns left into the finish chute, and this will be South Australia third in the men's senior elite class. Copying Leafs running New Zealand style with the shorts on. And not far behind him, I believe, is Tash Key. There she is on the screen now. What great video we've got. That's the rock. They come around and then down onto the wall of the dam. And this is the third place getters in the women's senior elite class. Tash Key, Ainsland Prendergast and Miller Key. So third place for the Victorians. Still running really, really strongly. I'm not going to guess the age of Tash, but she still runs with that beautiful, smooth running style that we're also envious of. And this is a clear... Where's the teammates? Come on. Miller, where are you? And I still don't have pre-warning for Michaela. But I do have a second at the, I think, spectator control. But the New Zealand team is 7:22 down, so it looks like the New South Wales team's got a clear lead, so we're just waiting for the finish. That was another Wolford finish. Alex Wolford finishing there in the men's junior. That's the third New South Wales team. And we've got Ewan Shingler at the pre-warning for the last control, and Ewan will run New South Wales into fourth place in the men's senior elite. A few minutes down on the South Australian team. Oh, I've got it now, and Michaela Enderby will be very shortly on the wall of the dam, and she will, with her teammates, be the winners of the the women's junior elite will go to New South Wales. So she's gone through the pre-warning. She's got to run down into the gully, punch the control, and then come up the streamer trail. So we'll wait for vision of Michaela, but I can see Ewan coming across. There he is, finishing now. So that's fourth place getters in the men's senior elite class. Gillen. We've got a real stream of people coming across the dam at the moment, some very strong runners. But we're looking out for Michaela Enderby in the New South Wales O-top. I don't know whether the rest of the team are down there waiting for her to come in. So hopefully the camera will pick up Michaela coming up out of the last control.
Third leg, blue female on the wall. No.
Is that her now? We've got her on camera now, I believe. No? Yeah, that's Michaela coming down to the last control. Yes, that's the last control. So very shortly, Michaela will be up on the dam wall, and she knows maybe that she's got a fairly large lead over the New Zealand team, and that will be victory to the New South Wales team of Nia Shingler, Erica Enderby and Michaela Enderby. Michaela Enderby coming across the dam wall and will take the lead and the win in the Australian Relays Women's 21E class, with Erica and her sister and Nia Shingler. Nia set up a very clear lead on the first leg after her very strong run yesterday, and the two Enderby girls have held on to that lead and in some actually stretched that lead out a bit. There we go, the three New South Wales successful women's junior elite class victory today. Just one last thing before I sign off. We have a trivia question for you if you want to win a prize. How many medals did we have to purchase for the Australian relays today? How many medals did we have to purchase? Come up here and write your name and number down, and the closest will get a prize. And I've been asked to plug, there are 2 cryptic crosswords, one based on history of Armidale and another one based on the history of Uralla that Hillary has created with some help. They are available at the registration tent. So if you're into cryptic crosswords and you want to learn about the history of Armidale and Uralla, go and pick up one of those.
Hey, Toad, how many classes is there? How many of them get medals?
Anna Sheldon, are you around? There's a trophy up here at the commentary for you from New Zealand. Anna Sheldon, you want to pick up your trophy? Come up to the commentary tent, please.
What happened there? May as well have a nap.
Good work. Good work. How's it? Good work, you're so good. Good job. She says, oh, it's ridiculous. Trying to practice some strategy.
Hello, kiddos.
Because I missed up the first part. Yeah. I took 5 minutes.
alright, I'm still here if you want to do run through.
Well done,
but it was
Reece.
just like, pretty sure all the important people are done by now, you know? Hey. Random. Has anybody ever died doing this? That you know of? Ah, damn it, that would've been cool. Oh, I was just wondering if anybody had died doing this. Fair enough. Yeah. Like, do people die every year? How often do people die? So it's like, if you die, you have to have either messed up pretty badly.
Finally. Go, David! Just don't come here. Just put it.
Okay, the little loop's a lot littler. You may as well sit down.
Minimum 20 minutes.
Have a nap.
I saw it, yeah.
You did it. You did it. Wow.
Oh, lady, you did
Start, finish. Go, 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 go.
Well done, Judy. I think it's gonna be all yellow.
Okay, the last smash starts. So if we've got any third leg runners that haven't headed out yet, if you could make your way down to the tagging area, we'll be starting at 11:45, just in a few minutes.
Exhausted, mate.
Can I just grab a second and ask all those juniors, Australian juniors, the New Zealand juniors can come as well, those that are thinking about JWOC 2025, it'll be in the Southern Dolomites, I think it is, nice part of the world. Can they come over and meet as a group with me in about 5 or 10 minutes? We'll meet down by the finish banner. So all the people considering going to JWOC for next year, 2025, if you could come over and meet with the rest of us in 5 minutes' time down by the finish banner. Spread the word, please.
going about the same speed. He wasn't on the splits. Like, was he second round?
That was so hot. That last bit.
I saw the other two guys go out, and I'm like, I shouldn't go.
Oh, that was, I was walking, man.
Good job. How was your run? All right.
Now we've got the whole team. We can take a picture. Oh, get out. Here we go. Get on the road as well. Go, Karen!
I got last bit. I got it this time.
You boys might be in front of the video.
You know, you want to look good.
First one. There's one here.
Oh my god, why would you have the controls 86? Oh my god, did you do it? I got to 89. I was like, oh my god, it's 60. Same! And then I saw the little
So just a last reminder for those who are interested in JWOC for 2025 and even 2026. What are they? Italy in the Dolomites, and then coastal Sweden. Not bad choices if you want to have a holiday. So everyone interested in JWOC can go over. There's a group near the finish there on a rock. Mark Freeman's over there. You can come over and meet us there straight away. That would be good.
But I think that must be that the first two runs have 4 lots and maybe it's it's because more likely to spread out and head to head. So it's a different style, isn't it?
I was pretty much solid the whole way. I only at the end of the day, just when we introduced I could see him coming from there.
Oh, yeah.
So all of this,
That makes a massive difference because I was seeing people all the way.
I think it makes sense for you to fast because
But there was different people, so I wasn't. So I lost Grant, 11, and then so he had that one right now that we're talking about, which was the easier one, but he probably had a harder one further on. And then coming in here, I saw Dave in the distance, maybe less than 100 metres ahead of me, but I made a mistake and saw the one on that with the control on that ticket.
yeah, I saw that. So I went to that bit.
I'm there on. That's there on. I'm like, oh, maybe my line should be on. So I run over to it. and then I was going to see Dave again.
I went to that ticket and then I went down and stair up. So it was small.
And over earlier on, just after 8 across the street, David rolled his ankle. He was just behind me, so he must have made a mistake at 8. So I was in front of him at that point. And so then he was wobbling, and I'm thinking, coming down, oh, I can catch it. And I didn't see him.
Yeah, well,
So there were other people in here, but not on that first. But it definitely, for me, makes a big difference in the like spotting people in the distance. I could work out, I can navigate a number, you know, I wasn't going to step up like punching and control. Still made me check all the numbers. I'm pretty sure I'm going to always spot and check that number.
yeah, I reckon I probably could have squeezed out When you start with the job, I guess.
Oh, good one. Yeah. New South Wales. First and third. Get some points for that. I'm going to have a point for the next weekend.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The presentation will take place in 10 to 15 minutes. Just waiting on some point score. So gather yourselves round and be ready for those random prizes as well. This is not the time to leave the arena.